So here's the best settings for PUBG and the ultimate FPS boost guide, which will help you fix lags and stuttering as well. So let's first open the settings and make sure you disable NVIDIA auto capture unless you need it, and then have the display mode on full screen, which will have significantly better performance than other modes. Select your native screen resolution, and then I'd like to have the lobby FPS cap to 30 frames. This is important because the player in the lobby is actually not doing anything and there's no need for the extra performance. And in the game FPS cap, I'd like to have it unlimited because we need as much performance as possible. And for a smooth frame rate, I have it disabled. For the brightness, I'd like to have it between 50 and 60. This is actually a personal preference. I have it universal for all maps. And let's go to advanced settings. For the render scale, I'd like to have it between 100 and 120, but that depends on your hardware. And going below 100 will actually make the game look blurry. For the FPP camera, this is a personal preference and can impact the FPS a little bit. I'd like to have it on 90, sometimes 100. And now for the graphics quality, I'd like to have anti-aliasing, post-processing, and shadows to low. And then textures on low or medium. For the effects, low. And for the foliage, always low. This helps you always spot players easier, especially the rats and the snakes that prone, especially also over long distances. This will make the foliage or the grass kind of disappear so you can see people prone. And the view distance, I'd like to have it high or ultra. And it depends also on your hardware and graphic cards, which will allow you to see far away. And then I have the sharpen enabled and VSync and motion blur disabled, especially motion blur because it kind of ruins your eyes. And then for the DirectX version, I found out that the DirectX 11 is the most stable version, and using the other versions actually causes kind of weird bugs and crashes sometimes. And for the audio, there's pretty much nothing here changed except this HRTF settings, which I have always enabled. I don't know if it's enabled by default. And for the gameplay, I'd like to always disable this character render in inventory because it's not really needed and it saves you a few frames. For the colorblind mode and the rest of the settings, it's pretty much a personal preference. And for the other settings, it's also pretty much the same. Now if we go to the NVIDIA control panel, I'd like to let the application decide between performance or quality optimization. Some people might have it on balanced mode. And for the 3D settings, I'd like to have the image scaling off and the low latency mode to ultra. And then the max frame rate is off. And then for the texture filtering quality to high performance. And then have thread optimization to auto and triple buffering to off. And then power management mode, I set it to prefer maximum performance. And for the OpenGL rendering GPU, you would always want to select your main GPU. And that's it. We need to save those settings. The rest of the settings is pretty much the same. The default ones. Here in the physics tab, you will need to select your GPU instead of auto select. And then for the resolution, I'd like to have my native monitor resolution. And then for the rest is pretty much the default settings. And that's it. That should actually boost your FPS and performance, and also help you see players better and spot them easier. That's it. Thank you guys for watching, and subscribe.